I think this is what I've learned from a lot of people who are rich is they live below their requirement and earn more than their requirement.
I think it was at 28. I made like 30 lakhs in 3 months.
Right, opportunities तो आपको सामने से आएंगी जब आप उसके work like we are doing this podcast, we are trying to give you guys an exact roadmap, but करना तो अभी को है. We cannot do
हम
that.
आपको रेसिपी दे सकते हैं, बनाना आपको पड़ेगा. Shall I spend a lot on travel? But I don't spend much on like I cannot spend on materialistic stuff because I travel a lot, so I cannot carry it with me.
Being rich versus being wealthy is very different. Like आप Lamborghini में घूम रहे हो but आपके पास घर नहीं है उसको पार्क करने के लिए.
And also creating new streams of income, which one of them is content creation, which is giving me zero money right now. But that's where we all start, right?
In fact, I think you left IIM. You
Yes,
got selected for
yes.
it. So you can call yourself officially कि ठीक है, I was worthy of IIM, but I rejected IIM.
I did not go forward with it. Yes.
I think people are not allowing themselves to make mistakes. They don't want to look like an idiot. How many countries have you traveled?
I'm close to 20 now.
मैंने भी नहीं किया भाई, to be very honest. But with your help, I'm gonna do this.
Yes, of course. I think for me, that thing is to not compare my journey with anybody else. Make it your own unique story. And I think it sounds cliche, but it's just like, you know...
write your own destiny.
Write your own destiny, write your own story. Yeah.
So if you are an aspiring freelancer, आज का एपिसोड आपके लिए बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है because today we have Shreya back on Dream with Neeraj Show and आज हमने श्रेया की ना पूरी जर्नी कवर की है how she has earned 2 crores before the age of 30. So 20 से लेके 30 की एज तक श्रेया ने क्या किया है, कैसे किया है, क्यों किया है, we're gonna cover all of that. This podcast is gonna help you get rich. So enjoy the episode. So Shreya, welcome back to Dream with Neeraj Show. श्रेया के साथ मैं 3 पॉडकास्ट कर चुका हूँ. ये ऑफलाइन वाला पहला पॉडकास्ट है एंड आई एम excited as much as I was when the first time I met you and invited on the show. It has been like हमारी friendship बहुत develop हो गई है उस phase से. And firstly I would say happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Shreya has just turned 30 and you know she has achieved a milestone I think जो काफी लोग aspire करते हैं अपनी life में. She has earned 2 crores before you know achieving this age. तो I know पूछना नहीं चाहिए. But today we are exactly going to talk about how you can reach the same amount or at least close to it, right? And she has set a record of 30, so try to beat that. So welcome.
We'll be spilling the beans today for sure, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Neeraj, for having me. I'm glad that we are doing the offline one this time.
Yes.
Because I think in the online there were so many talks we used to talk even after the podcast. Like we could have talked about that.
Yes.
I think this time we've learned so much, and I'm happy to share whatever can help our viewers, you know, get to that stage or get to their dreams.
Definitely. अच्छा ड्रीम विद नीरज शो है तो सपने तो पूरे करने ही है.
बिल्कुल.
And the intention with this podcast is to exactly give you a roadmap. हम श्रेया को 20 years की एज पे लेके जाएंगे, so I'm gonna get you younger today. Although she already looks young. तो हम 20 years श्रेया के पास जाएंगे, उसके mindset में जाएंगे because a lot of my viewers are young. And we will give you an exact roadmap कि 20 years की श्रेया ने कैसे प्लान आउट किया. I know you are an Excel person कि कैसे. So let's start with 20 years of you and give all of you a roadmap. करते हैं शुरू.
Perfect. Right. I think I want to specifically focus on that age 20 because I was at a place where I did not have an admission into a fancy degree. ऐसा कुछ BTech या MBA का मेरा प्लान भी नहीं था और ना ही मैं वो कर रही थी. So I think that is something that makes me feel कि अगर मैं कर सकती हूँ तो बाकी लोग भी कर सकते हैं. तो वहाँ से स्टार्ट करते हुए आई थिंक कमिंग फ्रॉम दैट कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड जिसमें कि मैं अभी हूँ उससे कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट आई थिंक दैट शुड बी मोटिवेशनल इनफ दैट यू कैन स्विच टू एनी फील्ड इवन इफ यू फिगर इट आउट लेटर ऑन इन लाइफ इट्स कम्प्लीटली फाइन टू डू दैट एज वेल देयर इज नो डेडलाइन यू शुड बी रनिंग फॉर देयर इज नो जर्नी यू कैन कॉपी ऑफ another person as a template to your life but there are definitely some key learnings that you can maybe take motivation from, inspiration from, and then drive your life moving forward.
पता दो इंटरेस्टिंग चीज क्या है यहाँ पे? I'm pausing you here. पहली बात तो श्रेया ने फिजिक्स में डिग्री की है, right?
Yes, masters
फिजिक्स में किया है, right? And she has earned this amount without a job. Like you have never had like a conventional job for 10 years या corporate में. मतलब वो लोग जो बोलते हैं ना कि जॉब में सिक्योरिटी है, जीवन है, आज कर. Like I feel you have broken 2 myths for people already. Like you come from a physics डिग्री, कौन सोचता है भाई फिजिक्स करके 2 करोड़ कमाना, कौन सोचता है,
मैंने नहीं सोचा था।
नहीं सोचा था। एंड देन शी हैज ट्रैवल्ड अ लॉट ऑफ कंट्रीज, शी हैज लिव्ड द वे शी वांटेड, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। ऐसा नहीं कि पैसा कमाया तो मजबूरी में कमाया, लाइक यू हैव अर्नड इट थ्रू द थिंग्स दैट यू वांटेड। That is exactly what I want to give to people. So I'll allow you to resume. 20 years, Shreya, physics degree completed, start.
So I think another thing to note is that my journey did not even start at 20. So it started around 24, 25. So I started pretty late in life.
Okay.
But still I think I was very, very like motivated to compensate for the lost time. So I was like, I have to just go forward and,
Nice.
use that time which I lost already. So I think that is another, if you're 20, you already have, I think, more time. So take leverage of time. I think time is a very, very important resource. And being 20, I think you have a lot of energy as well. That's also a resource. So definitely keep that with you. But yes, talking about my freelancing journey specifically, I did not know that I wanted to be a freelancer or I would end up being one. So I completed my degree. I thought, okay, maybe let's just get a decent job, perhaps. My parents wanted me to become either a teacher or maybe, get into like a bank job or something, but definitely not into private jobs because it can be very stressful. That's what we all had heard, that private jobs can be, they can go till midnight and all of that. And yes, I think I did work odd hours as well because I was working with clients and companies from all over the world.
Correct.
But yes, how it all started was my first job was more like an internship. So I started some internships with my college itself, and if I go back into the journey, I was just getting like 1,000 rupees a month.
Okay.
That's where I started.
You never imagined कि भाई ये 2 करोड़ पे आके खत्म होगा,
No.
at least 30 1,000 तक होगा।
Not at all. Like the earnings that I have per month right now, I did not know people could earn that much.
Obviously, the mindset wasn't there.
I did not have that. So it's like, it is the show is Dream with Neeraj, but I did not even have that in my dreams. So it was like beyond the dreams.
I can relate.
So I am there right now, and I'm grateful and thankful for everything I have learned in all of these years. So starting from that very point, let's say, when I was younger, I had the motivation. I was very open to learning whatever came my way. So when I joined a company, it was an IT company. I had zero idea what a company is, what is IT, what is tech. Zero clue.
So पहला shift physics से tech में हुआ. Let's take that. You are around 24 at this point of time.
Yes, I was around
24.
24.
Physics से तुम IT में आ गए. Okay, done.
So that was an internship. There I started getting 5,000 a month. I used to work weekends also because that's how startups are.
Yeah, obviously. जितना काम करोगे कम है.
बस वहाँ से सीखना शुरू किया और वही था कि ठीक है वीकेंड्स पे भी सीखने को मिल रहा है, बिल्कुल जरूर सीखेंगे, साथ में पैसे भी मिल रहे हैं सीखने के.
सोने पे सुहागा.
हाँ बिल्कुल. तो वहाँ it was a small company. I think another suggestion here, another takeaway is if you can start from a smaller company, it's much beneficial.
Absolutely.
Yes, because there you get to get the big picture as well as you get to get into the narrower things as well, narrower roles as well. But if you're in a big company, there is no option. You will have to start with a very, very narrow and niche role. So if you don't know what you want to do yet, especially in that stage, I would suggest going for a small company, try different roles within that small company, see where you fit in, see where you are needed the most, right? So try to understand where you can deliver the most value, and that's what you can learn in a small company. I think that has been a plus point in my journey, in which I was able to figure it out in earlier itself, that I'm good with my organizational skills, I'm good with managing different, even if somebody is unable to think that okay we can deliver it in time, I'm able to like break it down, it's fine, we'll do it. And we used to do it as well. So I think I figured out my strength by doing itself. So it's like learning by doing. That's the motto here. Learn by doing. So don't think that you have to figure everything out before you start. It's fine to just start.
So एक चीज मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, you don't have the clarity in the start, you build it along the way.
Yes.
Right? तो यहाँ पे मेरा एक key takeaway ये था कि you allowed Shreya to experiment कि मेरे को क्या पसंद आ रहा है, rather than choosing one thing and just focusing on that. So if I have to break it down for all of you guys, जब आप एक छोटे फर्म में होते हो, you will have to do everything.
Yes, you will end up doing
से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. कभी-कभी शायद झाड़ू पोछा भी मारना पड़े, but it's like you get to learn and expose yourself to things that you thought कि ये शायद मैं नहीं कर पाऊँ, but you do it absolutely amazing. Like श्रेया ने कहा था फिजिक्स पढ़ते-पढ़ते कि यार मैं प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर बन जाऊंगी या मैं मैनेजिंग रोल के अंदर या ऑपरेशंस में बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी होंगी, but you allowed yourself, right? So 24. You allow yourself to find out what skill you are good at. You experiment. You start with the startup. You are earning around 5,000 per month. So okay, let's go ahead of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when everything started.
Yeah,
I think till then I had not even stepped out of my home city.
Chandigarh.
So yes, I'm from Chandigarh and I had not stepped out of my home city till then.
I haven't stepped in Chandigarh yet.
It's fine, nothing to do there. So yes, that's when I think I understood that what kind of roles existed in a company and where I can add value. I think that's very important. Like the HR is sitting beside you, the accounts team is sitting beside you, the developers are sitting beside you. So even if I want to learn, okay, what do they do, and if I want to do that, they're sitting right in front of me, and that's a learning resource for me as well. लेकिन अगर आप बड़ी कंपनी में हो गए तो अगर आपकी लेट्स से कोई कोडिंग की टीम है तो आपकी शायद मतलब आपके सामने आपको दिखेंगे भी नहीं बाकी की टीम के लोग, आपको पता ही नहीं लगेगा कि वो लोग करते क्या हैं.
यहाँ पे सारी टीम एक कमरे में है.
यस,
एक टीम एक बंदा है.
एग्जैक्टली. और वो उतना ही काम कर रहे हैं कई बार तो जितना आई थिंक एक टीम कर रही होती है पूरी की पूरी कंपनी के अंदर. एक टीम भी नहीं कर पाती है वो चीज. तो वो इतने छोटे सी टीम जो है वो इतना कुछ डिलीवर कर रही होती है. सो राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू गेट दैट सेटिस्फैक्शन एज वेल. लाइक लेट्स से यू आर डिलीवरिंग अ प्रोजेक्ट एंड इट केम इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू and it got developed in front of you and it got delivered and the client is happy. So you've seen the entire journey, right? So that can happen if you are in a smaller company. And then after that, I would say, switching jobs, of course, it's not recommended if you want to have a good resume, but I don't have a good resume.
You don't have a resume now? You never thought of building one?
Maybe I would need in the future, but till now I think it was mostly like I was putting things on LinkedIn, whatever I was just achieving or accomplishing. So I just put it there. And the next job that I got was also through LinkedIn. The third as well through LinkedIn. So I used to network with people. I used to put up what work I was learning, what I was doing as well. I used to put it in the form of stories and share it on LinkedIn. तो वहीं से ही मुझे जॉब के ऑफर्स भी आ जाते थे, where people used to see, okay, these are her strengths and she's worked with previous companies on previous projects, so maybe she can add value here as well. So you get on a call, they like you, and then they are okay to hire you as well. So I switched jobs pretty frequently in the first 3 years of my career. Okay. So it was like those were never like ठीक है यहाँ पर मैं रुकी हुई हूँ अभी 5 साल 10 साल. ऐसा नहीं हुआ मेरे साथ.
So give me like 24 you were earning 5,000 a month. So 27 पे what was the amount that you were earning? Like
I think let's even break it down further because then
sure, why not?
So 23, 24, 5,000 internships से start किया. The same company offered me a job that was around 27,000 rupees I was getting a month. And similar role, I think internship से job में कुछ ज़्यादा switch नहीं हुआ, but still I was learning, I was trying to give value wherever I could. Then when I switched the company, it was almost double, 50-60,000 मुझे मिलता था. But I switched my city finally,
5 से 50.
हाँ. Okay. And then after that, I joined another company and they also found me on LinkedIn, but they offered me a commission as well. So I used to get like, I think I got a hike in my salary that was around 70,000.
Okay.
This was my third year of career.
Around 27.
हाँ, 27 के around, yes.
भाई बाकी के 3 साल में तो तूने बहुत धमाल मचाया फिर.
बहुत fast grow किया उसमें.
27, you were like around at 70, okay.
Yes. And then 70 के ऊपर मुझे commission मिलता था, which was
annually it's around 10-12. Commission पकड़ लो तो 15.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Commission पकड़ लो तो let's take it out 15 lakhs.
हाँ, almost, yes.
Okay.
तो वो उसके ऊपर मतलब जितना सैलरी आती थी ऑलमोस्ट कभी तो उतना ही मेरा कमीशन बन जाता था. सो इट वाज अप टू मी. यस, इट वाज अप टू मी हाउ मच आई कुड अर्न एंड हाउ मच आई कुड गिव इन. सो एक फिक्स्ड अमाउंट आ रहा था फॉर द फिक्स्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज आई हैड, बट ऑल्सो इफ आई मे बी like my role was a lot around the customer management and onboarding new customers as well. So if I used to convert more customers, then I used to get paid because these are software like अच्छा amount वाला like juicy money.
Was this like SaaS, something like that?
No, it was custom software development.
Okay.
So client बोलता है कि ठीक है हमें ऐसा web app बनवाना है. It should look like, it should be an ERP. और या फिर कोई बोलता है कि मुझे Uber जैसा ऐप चाहिए but उसमें ये फीचर्स होने चाहिए. तो फिर वो चेंज करके जो भी उनके अकॉर्डिंग होता था, तो मेरा रोल होता था कि मैं क्लाइंट को समझाऊं कि मैं समझ रही हूँ आप क्या बोल रहे हो.
It's like a relationship management.
Yes. And then like I consider it customer relationship management, but it was sales.
Oh.
So if I understood them, they used to give me the assignment like we have selected you get the project. So it's like the ticket size used to be like $50,000, $80,000 or so, और उसमें से मुझे 4-5% बिलिंग पे मिलता था. तो अगर क्लाइंट ने पैसे दिए, जितने पैसे दिए उसमें से मुझे 4%, 5% जो भी मिलता था. तो वो एक अच्छा आई थिंक मैंने डील क्रैक कर ली थी in which the employer was also willing to because they wanted to scale up and if I got more projects they were scaling up.
So allow me to pause you here. मेरे को दो तीन key takeaways मिले that will help you guys. Is firstly it was an international thing.
Yes.
Right, so you were earning in dollars, like sort of commission जो तुम्हारी
Commission
आ रही
was
थी
in
वो dollar projects में से आ रही थी, so it was already a good scale to get something from. So if your pie is smaller, तो आप उसमें से कितना ही काटोगे? This was a big cake, right? So you were getting a good amount of pie. Second thing is I've realized in life कि आप बिना sell किए ना अमीर नहीं बन सकते.
बिल्कुल.
Don't hate sales. You cannot. I like there are two kinds of people in life. Either you can be a buyer, you can be a seller. Be a seller. Most of the times, खरीदो भी.
Wherever you can, yes.
Wherever you can. So it's very very important. Like don't try to avoid this thing. Like I think the big key takeaway here is Shreya. ऐसा नहीं था कि यार मैं सेल्स नहीं करूँगी, कमीशन नहीं करना. Why should I get uncomfortable? I think you stepped out of your comfort zone here. Like sort of like first amazing step in towards कि इससे बाहर निकलते हैं, इस notion से बाहर निकलते हैं कि we should be fixed into what we get. So you sort of already had a taste कि ठीक है मेरी potential मेरे पे ही है. How much I earn is dependent on how much I do.
Yes, yes.
People don't try to do that.
I'll give you an example also, like how to get out of the comfort zone. So being in like physics, you don't get to interact with the outside world. So I was an introvert. I wouldn't have been sitting here, you know, talking to you. अगर मैं उसी zone में बैठी होती कि शायद आकर कुछ मुझे मिल जाएगा अपने आप. But yes, I think I grew a lot from there itself when I understood that I am responsible for my own life, right? So it's important to learn that as well. तो उसके बाद से when I took up sales, I think it taught me how to talk with new people, how to keep them interested as well, how to give them value, how to get value from them as well.
A lot of skills.
Yes, a lot of skills. I think talking to people is also very important. So there from sales, I think I learned a lot. I grew a lot. I understood that I can give value. I felt more confident as well. So those are, I think, some key takeaways from that certain job role that I had. And I also got a lot of, you know, in terms of my, I think, digital nomad journey, we've talked in another podcast.
Yes.
But I got that first international travel exposure from that job itself.
Nice.
Because I was responsible to onboard new clients from Singapore because we were onboarding and setting up a new office in Singapore, and I was the sole person responsible for it.
Got it.
So I used to travel very frequently. I used to, you know, onboard new clients there. Used to even reach out to new clients if possible, and then get them on board. And right now, that company is like a top-rated company in Singapore for software development.
Wow.
So yes, that is, I think, that gave me a lot of confidence as well.
अच्छा यहाँ पे एक interesting चीज that I want to tell you guys is लोग है ना पैसा कमाने के लिए ना पैसे पे फोकस करते हैं. पैसा कमाने के लिए अपने आप पे फोकस करो. It's a skill. So the interesting pattern that I've picked up from you, which I think is a very natural pattern, is skills. जब आपके पास होते हैं तो आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है. अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है तो उससे रिलेशनशिप्स बनते हैं. रिलेशनशिप से यू कन्वर्ट इनटू योर नेटवर्क. Right, and that network leads to more opportunities. So it's like a positive loop.
Yes, it will. That loop will also grow its, you know, its web as well.
Absolutely. तो I think यहाँ से श्रेया का ऐसे हो गया कि that gave you a trajectory of expanding because जो last 3 साल में तुमने धूम मचाया है उसका उसकी start यहाँ से हुई है. Like I think if you did not do sales, that would be a pivotal point कि तो इतने सारे स्किल्स डेवलप ही नहीं होते ना. रिलेशंस क्या होता है, कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ सेलिंग समथिंग, कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ बीइंग इंडिपेंडेंट, कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ मैनेजिंग पीपल, एक्सपोजर ऑफ अ न्यू कंट्री. आई थिंक एक बंदी जो चंडीगढ़ से आ रही है, लाइक अ वेरी ऑर्थोडॉक्स फैमिली, एक एनवायरनमेंट जो इतना एक्सपोजर नहीं देता है, टू गोइंग टू सिंगापुर, टू सेलिंग, टू नोइंग कि मैं कर सकती हूँ. Crazy, right? So you focused on your skills. That is a key takeaway. You focused on skill. You focused on building relationship. You focused on the right things. Rather than being obsessed कि यार मुझे कमाना है. बोलने से नहीं होता ना. It's like you need to focus on the right things. So let's resume. You are at 27. You are earning around, I think, 1.5 to 2 lakhs a month.
Yes. Around 1.5 lakhs.
Yeah, around 1.5 lakhs. ठीक है. Let's go ahead now.
Yes, I think I also want to focus on one key takeaway during this phase that I got is like you can be two kind of people or you can be a mix as well, which is generalist and specialist.
Oh.
Okay. So I understood that being generalist, I think I benefit more from that, and it can be a choice or it can be something that you just realize about yourself.
Interesting.
But yes, for me being a generalist, I think that has worked out the best because I learned it somewhere that, you know, you can grow a T-shaped graph for yourself.
Oh, very interesting.
Yes,
approach.
so you can be like, you know, you can know a little bit about everything and then you go in depth for the thing that you really need to do. So, for example, like sales. At that point in time, I understood the industry. Okay, this is how softwares are developed. I'd done a little bit of coding as well, and I understood okay how the team works. I know how to talk to team as well, so I knew a little bit of HR too. But I needed to go in depth into sales back then. So I took up some books, I took up some courses, and just self-taught myself sales.
Yeah.
Right. And then after that, after this job, I was almost leaving this job, and COVID also happened. I ventured into entrepreneurship, and I also started freelancing.
Nice.
So at this point in time, like freelancing, I think I was able to sell my own skills, my own expertise, right? My own time to clients. And back then I did not even know that this is called freelancing, because clients approached me and I was like, okay, fine, we can work together. And we understood, what kind of term, what I can give to the company and what they want as a package from me. And I had to take up different roles because, again, it was like a solopreneur I would say, very small team back then. And then from there, I understood that, hey, this thing is called perhaps freelancing. Okay, how do I make sure that I'm on the right terms? You make a contract, you give them an invoice based on the hours you work, etc. So that thing started during COVID period. And getting into entrepreneurship as well, I think that also helped me a lot, because I had got a lot of confidence already working with a lot of entrepreneurs in my previous 3 jobs. And from there, I could also work on my own startup, which was into education technology. And this is all like,
28? This is still in 27?
This is 27, 28, yes.
End of the year.
Okay. And I think if you realize, like, it's not linear. Right?
Obviously,
it's like this
Yeah. So something interesting that I've picked up. So पहले क्या किया पता है श्रेया ने अपने लिए एविडेंस क्रिएट किया कि she can do this. एविडेंस से कॉन्फिडेंस आता है. Right? You build the evidence of handling people, of selling. तो ऐसा था कि ठीक है ये पता है, it's not अनजान. You know the market rates now. You know कि अगर मेरी कमीशन 5% थी, 10% थी, तो ये प्रोडक्ट कितने में जा रहा है? You have the understanding of it. So you were sort of a generalist, but you knew कि इस सेक्टर में क्या चल रहा है. Right? Then you sort of, I would say, became a specialist into that one niche when you started linear it down कि ठीक है ये चीज को मैं sell कर सकती हूँ as a skill, and then people started approaching you कि Shreya, you have already done this for us. Why don't you do this directly for us?
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Why go like this, right?
And cut down the middlemen and get directly into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel like this is how the life is, right? Opportunities तो आपको सामने से आएंगी जब आप उसके worth हो. And one key takeaway for all of you guys is you should be able to sell your time in life. उसके बिना आप अमीर नहीं बन सकते.
Yes.
Right? If you're just employed or just fixed with one thing, one parameter, you will never be able to reach. I think now you started selling your time when you twisted this whole T-shaped graph into like अब चलो जो भी उसको बोलो, freelancing, remote work, whatever you say, it's selling your time. आज अमिताभ बच्चन जैसा पेटीएम पे अपनी आवाज दे रहे हैं, अपना समय बचा रहे हैं ना. He sold his like 2 minutes of his life for crores. Right? I think the epitome of being successful in life is being able to just be present in the room and you are getting money for it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that is so. I think I want to get to that later. What I'm doing right now, I want to cover that as well, and how you can scale that up, like जो एक वो exponential graph होता है ना, कैसे ऐसे चलता है और एकदम से ऐसे चला जाता है.
So before we go there, मुझे ये पूछना है कि now you're 27, you are ending this thing, like you have shifted from Chandigarh to your IT job to now becoming a LinkedIn पे clients आ गए, you started selling. What was the amount till now total? Let's say 27 तक आ गए हम, were we close to 1 crore here? Nowhere close.
I think not till 20. I think around
50-60 तो हो गया होगा.
हाँ, 60-70 तक था. Then again, then I have a secret what happened.
Nice. Last के 3 साल में 1.5 करोड़. Nice.
ये सारा पैसा सेव होकर जा रहा था म्यूचुअल फंड्स में.
Nice.
तो मेरे एक्सपेंसेस इतनी ज्यादा ड्रास्टिकली इंक्रीज नहीं हुए मेरी सैलरी के साथ साथ. They were still like in control. I still have a simple lifestyle. I spend a lot on travel, but I don't spend much on I cannot spend on materialistic stuff because I travel a lot, so I cannot carry it with me. But मेरा ये सारा पैसा सब कुछ म्यूचुअल फंड्स में जा रहा था, and that was the time when it was like I put a lump sum, quite a good amount into mutual funds when it was at like a super low.
Can you disclose the amount if you're comfortable?
I think I had invested like 25 to 30 lakhs already by this time.
Okay.
Yes. I think more than that.
नहीं होता उसमें तक.
हाँ, more than that.
Okay.
और फिर जब वो उठा 2021 में, बस वो ऑलमोस्ट वो लगा लो डबल हो गया वो.
Okay. So this was a big hike for you because you were smart कि ठीक है ये तो मेरे को वैसे भी लग नहीं रहा. I think this is what I have learned from a lot of people who are rich is they live below their requirement and earn more than their requirement. तो वो एक गैप क्रिएट हो जाता है।
गैप बना के रखना चाहिए। अगर आपका वेल्थ गोल है, स्पेशली मेरा नहीं था, बट स्टिल आई ended up doing that. बट अगर स्पेशली इफ योर लाइफ गोल इज टू क्रिएट वेल्थ, देन keep that gap because it's needed. It can give you some buffer to take risks.
Being rich versus being wealthy is very different. Like आप Lamborghini में घूम रहे हो बट आपके पास घर नहीं है उसको पार्क करने के लिए। Like it's like ऊपर से ये और चल रहा है उसका। So it's just fancy thing for somebody to like a toy कि आप दिखाने के लिए आपके पास में है, बट किसी को नहीं पता भाई ये तो बंदा स्ट्रेस में है, एंजाइटी में है। So nice. Let's resume कि this was a big hike. So you like I think you came close to 70, 80 around that thing. मतलब close to 1 crore till 28 का first quarter started.
हाँ, तब तक हो गया था 1 crore.
Okay, so यहाँ से क्या transition हुआ फिर?
यहाँ से ये ट्रांजिशन होता है कि मैंने फ्रीलांसिंग, जब मुझे समझ में आ गया था कि अच्छा फ्रीलांसिंग को एक सस्टेनेबल सोर्स ऑफ इनकम भी बनाया जा सकता है, देन दैट्स व्हेन आई साइंड अप ऑन अपवर्क and I got more proactive even on LinkedIn as well.
So you went all in into
all in, yes.
Got it.
तो उस टाइम पर मेरे पास एंटरप्रेन्योरियल एक्सपीरियंस भी था, ठीक है, विच ऑफ कोर्स यू नो, ठीक है, वो एक टैग की तरह मैंने कभी यूज नहीं किया, बट उससे इतना कुछ सीखने को मिला दैट आई अंडरस्टूड वेयर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स स्ट्रगल एंड वेयर आई कैन हेल्प देम. So as a consultant now, beyond sales, beyond just project management, I ventured into product management. And product management is like, I think it's a well-paying niche. And you cannot start there as a fresher. I don't recommend that. But if you are a little, you know, maybe 2-3 years into IT already, then it's an amazing role to pick up.
Got it.
So that's when I think management का एक unlock किया, एक तो management जिसके अंदर individual contributor से उठकर तुम team को manage कर रहे हो, ठीक है, और तुम पूरे प्रोडक्ट की सक्सेस को भी मैनेज कर रहे हो. सो द क्लाइंट्स यूज्ड टू ट्रस्ट मी दैट आई मेक द डिसीजंस फॉर द प्रोडक्ट मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, व्हाट द कस्टमर्स वुड वांट,
व्हिच इज वेरी क्रूशियल रोल.
यस, इट इज. सो आई थिंक आई गॉट द कॉन्फिडेंस ऑल्सो टू डू इट. अगर कुछ साल पहले मैं सेम चीज करती, मुझ में कॉन्फिडेंस ना होता, क्योंकि मुझे आता ही नहीं था वो चीज. मुझे नहीं पता थी कि क्या लेना चाहिए, क्या. So I think it just happened at the right time, the realization also, and knowing these roles exist, and you know, being out there, keeping your senses open all the time, talking to people, talking to peers as well, कि क्या चल रहा है, आप कितना मांगते हो इसके लिए, ये सब चीजें भी जानना जरूरी है.
हाँ, मार्केट स्टडी तो होनी चाहिए यार.
So I think it's considered ऐसे टाबू की तरह कि अपनी सैलरी मत डिस्कस करो किसी के साथ. I think I'm sitting here and sharing everything, like keeping.
यहाँ पे तो हम पूरे 10 साल डिस्कस कर रहे हैं.
तो ये जरूरी है कि थोड़ा सा आइडिया होना चाहिए कि क्या चल रहा है मार्केट में, आपकी स्किल्स कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर इंपॉर्टेंट, लेट्स से अगर वो जेनेरिक भी है, तो आप उसको कैसे पैकेज कर सकते हो उसको अट्रैक्टिव बनाने के लिए, सो दैट द क्लाइंट सेज दिस इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई वांट. For example, when I was reaching out to a client on Upwork itself, and that was an edtech solopreneur, ठीक है, और उसमें क्या था कि वो जो क्लाइंट था ना, वो इस चीज में मुझे लगा कि स्ट्रगल कर रहा था कि उसकी डोमेन को कोई समझ नहीं रहा था. रोल तो उसको बहुत मिल रहे थे प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर के लिए या प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर के लिए, but how I pitched was like, I have done something in education technology, I am very passionate about it, I can help you in this is where I see you are struggling, so I can give value there. And he was like, okay, you just understand what I want. So he was ready to settle on the terms of payment as well, because he knew what he's getting from me, what he wanted, right? तो अगर उनको मिल रही है वो चीज, तो they will be willing to pay if they have that money. So it's important to learn, okay, where these clients hang out, where your skills, whatever skills you're selling, where those skills are required. For example, अगर आप वीडियो एडिटर हो और आप वर्टिकल वीडियोस के स्पेसिफिक, लेट्स से आप एडिटर हो, एक तो पहले नीश अपना बनाओ, वो अच्छा रहता है, वो आपको ज्यादा पे करता है, एंड देन हैंग आउट एट द प्लेसेस वेयर दोस पीपल आर, वेयर योर क्लाइंट्स
नेटवर्क बेसिकली. या
तो टाइम मत वेस्ट करो रैंडम जगहों पर, ठीक है, कि उसने तो अपवर्क पे किया था, अपवर्क पे आपको हो सकता है वीडियो एडिटिंग के गिग्स ना मिले, आपको इंस्टाग्राम पे मिलेंगे, मुझे इंस्टाग्राम पे नहीं मिलेंगे एज अ प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर, प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर. तो अंडरस्टैंड वेयर योर क्लाइंट्स वुड बी हैंगिंग आउट. दे कुड इवन बी इन, लाइक आई शेयर दिस ऑल्सो अलॉट, दैट दे कुड ऑल्सो बी इन स्लैक कम्युनिटीज, दे कुड ऑल्सो बी इन सम नीश प्लेटफॉर्म्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू आर अ क्रिएटिव पर्सन, ठीक है, तो आपको Behance और Dribble इन प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर होना चाहिए.
We met on Ankur Varik's course.
Yes, see,
like
exactly.
Like, it still feels like crazy meeting Shreya on that thing.
And sitting here.
Or she's a very dear friend now. Like I don't know how many times we have interacted and like shared a lot of, like we had literally, मतलब podcast से बड़े तो हमारे calls होते हैं. तो like that is how like close we have come into this thing, because we are going through a journey which is very similar, and sort of I think the struggles are also very similar for the path.
Yeah.
Right, so I think it would be very crazy to say कि आप एक बार कोशिश करके देखो, you don't know which opportunity comes your way. very very
true.
like still mind boggling.
So
So I have picked up some things from here that I would like to pause and discuss. पता है एक चीज जो मेरे को बड़ी प्यारी लगी ना is understanding pain points of people. ठीक है, so when you can like वो था ना जहाँ पे उनको दर्द करा exactly if you can pick it up ना they will be like आप बस कर दो, आपको पैसे की दिक्कत नहीं होगी, हम दे देंगे,
बिल्कुल
आप ये कर दो.
एम्पैथी
भी होती है and they know कि इसको explain नहीं करना है यार. मतलब मेरी क्या दिक्कत है, मेरे को एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना इस चीज को. यू ऑलरेडी नो, एंड व्हेन यू ऑलरेडी नो the person is already convinced that if he understands me this well, I am sure he can solve the problem. I think that is where you became unique for a lot of people, and that is where you started earning a lot more than अरे होता है ना पोटेंशियल आपका एक ब्रेक होता है, आपके माइंडसेट में एक ब्रेक होता है, अरे इतना कोई पैसा दे सकता है क्या मुझे? क्यों दे रहा है?
You have to ask, right?
You have to ask,
Yes.
but also you have to realize first that you can. Like कितने लोग हैं आज भी उनको बोलूंगा ना, अरे जिंदगी में 1 करोड़ कमाना बहुत मुश्किल है. Like you've done it now. And somebody might have done it at 17, right? Half of your age as well, but it's just that you need to be crazy enough to believe it. Like we are doing this podcast, we are trying to give you guys an exact roadmap, but करना तो आप ही को है. We cannot do
हम
that.
आपको रेसिपी दे सकते हैं, बनाना आपको पड़ेगा.
Yeah. See, for you it was sort of realizing कि you know IT में आना जरूरी है फिजिक्स से, वहाँ से इंटरनेशनल जाना जरूरी है, इंटरनेशनल से खुद का करना ज्यादा जरूरी है, कमीशन में भी कितना ही कमा लूंगी. Like you were earning good, but you were like ठीक है यार पोटेंशियल तो ज्यादा है. But now you see the pattern here. यहाँ पे ना एक बार एक लेवल ब्रेक हो रहा है श्रेया के दिमाग में कि यार ये हो सकता है तो ये भी क्यों नहीं हो सकता, ये हो सकता है तो ये भी क्यों नहीं हो सकता. इट्स लाइक यू आर रियलाइजिंग कि ओके ठीक है
1 by 1
1.5 तो कमा लिया, मेरी वर्थ है. 2 कमा लिया, मेरी वर्थ है. 2.5 कमा लिया मेरी, अरे है यार.
मांग के देखो और उनको वैल्यू देकर देखो, मिलेगा.
And you start to just scale it. I think there are two important factors. Once you realize कि ये प्रॉब्लम मैं सॉल्व कर सकता हूँ,
Yes.
make it scalable.
Yes.
Everything that is not scalable is not worth doing. So we were talking about the selling of your time. ठीक है. And यहाँ पे ना मैं एक example देना चाहूँगा of selling of your time. Like obviously I've told about Amitabh Bachchan now, but थोड़ा सा realistic example लेते हैं. I know. तो like just like you, मैं थोड़ा सा अपना example देना चाहूँगा यहाँ पे. So I quit my job 29 पे. You still started earlier than me, by the way. Like I was still doing corporate. I don't mind that. I've learned a lot from my corporate life. It was a beautiful job, like a beautiful firm and everybody there. And so example that I want to give you, like when you talked about this generalist versus specialist वाला approach ना, I tried everything. I literally had an Excel जहाँ पे मैंने लिखा था मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, गा सकता हूँ, ये कर सकता हूँ, ये कर सकता हूँ. Like literally I did that. Like लोग पढ़ते थे एक ही गाई ये वो बुक्स सब पढ़ लेते, implement कितने लोग करते हैं, right? It's literally like that. So now what happens is that I scale on Instagram pretty rapidly, and then people start asking this. मेरे को तो कुछ पता ही नहीं था भाई personal branding क्या होती है. Like literally I had no clue कि this is something sellable. Right? It's like a starving market right now. कि लोगों को जानना है कि भाई कैसे followers बढ़े, कैसे grow करें हम, कैसे हो. And then this top mid thing comes. Right? So it become very easier. ठीक है चलो इस पे डाल के देखते हैं. Initially like you know I had like people reaching out, मैंने ऐसी दे दी advice कि ठीक है चलो, and then they get result. They're like okay can you give me more, and then I started realizing okay लोगों को जानना है ये चीज, सीखनी है ये चीज, and I am good at it. Like I was good at strategizing कि आपको कैसे grow करना है, या फिर personal development coach या whatever you say. So two things that I realized I'm good at is one is helping people realize their potential. The second is helping them realize their brand value, like where they are missing and how you can improve. मतलब clarity नहीं होती ना लोगों को start करने के लिए. So confusion to clarity. That is what I started giving to people, and then अच्छा यार ये तो कमा सकते हैं इससे तो. Then I started, it took me a mindset shift, I would say.
Exactly.
To know that I can ask money for this.
I think it's important to realize कि गैप कहाँ पर है डिमांड और सप्लाई में.
Exactly.
तो अगर आपके पास कोई स्किल है भी, एक बार थोड़ा ट्राई तो करके देखो लोगों को चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए होगी. आई एम श्योर किसी ना किसी को चाहिए होगी.
Exactly.
उस वहां तक पहुंचना है आपको एक बार देखना है कि आप कितनी वैल्यू वहां पर ऐड कर सकते हो और आप कितने पैसे उस चीज के कमा सकते हो.
Again, a pain point वाला एग्जांपल दूंगा मैं यहाँ पे just to make it easier for everyone to understand. मैंने ये एलेक्स फर्मोसी की बुक में पढ़ा था इस राइट कि आपको बर्गर बेचना होता है ना, क्वालिटी से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. What matters is कि आप कहाँ कर रहे हो, तो the right market. So if you sell it at a joint जहाँ पे अभी फुटबॉल प्लेयर्स जस्ट ट्रेनिंग से बाहर आ रहे हैं ना, they are like craving so much of food right now कि आप जो बेचोगे ना उनको टेस्टी लगेगा, right? So it's like total addressable market.
Yes.
Firstly realize that कि आपका उसका market exist करता है. Now the personal branding space is growing. I think it is not even defined market right now. It is still expanding. So this is a skill which is selling, which is hot selling I would say. Right? Once you realize you have something that is required by people and you are good at it,
Yes.
start doing
That's it. That's it. You figured it out then.
it. Yeah, just start doing
You
it.
just start doing it, start earning. That's it.
Yeah. Now the third missing ingredient is marketing. That is where content creation comes in place. That is what we are doing
That
right
is what
now.
we are doing now. Yes. Exactly, and that's what I am currently doing as well. I think the point you talked about, scaling your time impact.
Yeah.
I would say if I'm putting the same time in for something and it's reaching more people, or it is staying there longer term so that it stays there and gives me value whenever somebody accesses
Correct,
it.
correct.
I think that's what I want to do next, because as a freelancer I have a cap of how much time I can give,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So in terms of content creation, I'm trying to break that as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing now at 30, 31.
So नहीं let me go back. Let me
Yes.
go back. अभी नहीं आया हूँ उस पे. अभी बचा 1.5 crore. Like almost. So you are near to 1 crore at the age of 28. You have realized you have shifted to having your own skills. You have shifted to selling your time, being more efficient with your time. I think एक mindset shift यहाँ पे भी होता है कि किसी को भी अपना time नहीं दे देना.
हाँ, बिल्कुल, very important.
है ना?
So yes, I think that is something that's happening in parallel, and then I've also scaled up on my freelancing
Yes.
part, because I was able to also, let's say, work with more clients, more number of clients, across different time zones as well.
Did you have a team at this point?
No,
Okay.
I did not.
Continue.
So when I was in my entrepreneurial journey, I had a team, but I had the client's team to help me. So for example, if I'm the project manager and the client is a solopreneur or maybe an entrepreneur as well, then they might have like a small team, 10 people, 15 people, and their own team members are also, let's say, my team. Right, so if I am planning out the product roadmap for them and helping them, let's say, unlock their next numbers that they've aimed for, then I have support from their team members to execute that. So I started working on clients of different sizes. So I've worked with solopreneurs, I've worked with entrepreneurs of like small to mid-sized companies, and I've also worked with really big companies. Really big means like 10,000 employee companies as well. So I've worked with all scale of companies, and that's why I understood also market rates and how much money to ask based on how much value I'm giving, how much money they are making as well.
Everything was preparing you.
Yes. I think I kept my senses open, and I tried to learn from wherever I could. And if I'm in a certain role, it doesn't mean that I cannot learn from other people there, right? So there was something coming my way all the time, and I just took it. So yes, so around 28, 29, my freelancing on Upwork had gone up. So I was asking for more money per hour.
Yeah, basically you became a premium talent right now.
Yes.
कि ठीक है मेरे आपको इतना benefit तो मैं करवा ही दूंगी. So like people are willing to give you money.
Yes.
So if you can give me a ballpark of like what was the monthly here?
So per hour when we charge,
per hour.
like I started with something around $25-30. At this point, it's around $60.
Okay.
But it was in between. I was increasing like $5, $10 every few months, right? But then I was able to scale up on the number of clients I was working with as well. And doing retainer models also helped me a lot. So if you're aiming to be a freelancer especially, try to learn about different models of engagement with your clients.
Absolutely.
It can be hourly, it can be milestone wise, which means you tell them, okay, this is the bigger project, let's divide it into these stages and I get money on these stages.
Correct.
Then the third is retainer model, in which you ask for a weekly or a monthly fixed pay, and you give them a certain either fixed number of hours or fixed amount of value, whatever you can quantify.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So these are different models. So I believe a lot in the retention model. For me as a manager, like in the management role, I think it
you
comes.
need retainers.
Yes, I like to have those. So some certain months I worked a lot, like 3 clients a month, which I usually don't do. So for some, like I think it was at 28, I made like 30 lakhs in 3 months almost.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Because
Nice.
almost like 25-30 lakhs in 3 months. I think that was like, a very quick
Again,
scale
a
up.
mindset break की ठीक अरे ये भी हो सकता है 3 महीने में 30 लाख भी कमाए
जा सकते हैं, which I had no clue. मतलब मुझे
Absolutely, यार.
अभी भी कई बार ऐसे अनरियल लगता है
चंडीगढ़ की लड़की है यहाँ जा रही है वो हो रहा है like obviously लोग मुंबई के नहीं सोच पाते ये.
तो मतलब ये था, ऐसे मेरा मोटिवेशन ये था कि मैं यूरोप ट्रिप पे जा रही थी लंबे वाले, और मुझे था कि यार मैंने वहां पर मजे करने हैं, तो मैं पिछले 2-3 महीने ना फुल काम करके पैसे बचाती हूँ, ठीक है. एंड आई यूज्ड टू वर्क लाइक 14 hours a day, 13-14 hours a day, and used to work with 3 clients for those 3 months. And then after I started traveling, I scaled it down, and that's I think the beauty of freelancing as well. थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है ट्रांजिशन करने में, थोड़ा सा प्रिपेयर करके रखना पड़ता है क्लाइंट को और खुद को, बट देन आई काइंड ऑफ लाइक आई वाज लाइक ठीक है, lesser money is fine, but I want to travel and enjoy as well. So I started traveling also, and then I kind of kind of handed off some of the projects to other team members, and then I kind of went down on the monthly pay, but it's still all good. It was all strategic.
Got it. So मतलब यहाँ पे एक माइंडसेट शिफ्ट होता है कि श्रेया ने बोला कि ठीक है चलो इसको थोड़ा स्केल कर लिया,
हाँ,
तो स्केल कर लिया तो अचानक से इनकम आ गई तो नाउ आई फील द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट इज पता है क्या, योर व्हाई वाज वेरी स्ट्रांग इन टर्म्स ऑफ, सो व्हेन योर व्हाई इज बिगर देन योर प्रॉब्लम ना, you survive. Right, you were working hard. I want to tell this to people, it's like she's being very humble here, but I know the effort it takes day and night to maintain a relationship with client and to give results. It's a different thing to say कि मैं आपको result दूंगा, or it's a different thing to give results. Right? And I am sure कि if somebody is earning 30 lakhs in 3 months, she would have worked very hard in terms of giving result and proving कि ठीक है मेरी worth उतनी है, तभी लोग दे रहे. So I don't want people to think कि ठीक है ये कर लिया तो हो जाएगा. You need to have that mindset, hard work and give results to people.
आई थिंक लोग स्ट्रगल करते हैं, ऑफ कोर्स आई गेट अ लॉट ऑफ मैसेजेस कि जॉब कैसे ढूंढे या क्लाइंट्स कैसे ढूंढे. वो एक डेफिनेटली एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है, बट उसके बाद डिलीवर करना और अपने आप को एक स्टेज पर रखना या इवन उसको क्रॉस करना भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज है फोकस करने के लिए. अगर आपने मतलब बैक कर लिया कोई प्रोजेक्ट या कोई जॉब, डजंट मीन दैट्स द एंड ऑफ द जर्नी, दैट्स वेयर यू जस्ट स्टार्टेड. लाइक व्हाई डिड दे हायर यू, जस्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट एंड गिव देम दैट. आई थिंक इवन मोर देन दैट. तो उससे भी ज्यादा दोगे तो वो आपको भी आगे से रिस्पेक्ट भी देंगे, आपका भी एक पोर्टफोलियो बनेगा, आपके पास एक स्टोरी होगी बताने को कि आपने क्या क्या अचीव कर रखा है पास्ट में.
आई थिंक पता है यहाँ पे इंटरेस्टिंग चीज क्या है श्रेया, एनीथिंग कैन ओनली स्केल व्हेन यू एक्चुअली गिव देम रिजल्ट. लाइक अगर नहीं मिला तो खत्म हो गया ना लूप, दे विल नेवर कम बैक.
यस,
right, so you were giving result continuously, that's why people start like coming back to you, and you can only have retainer when somebody knows कि ठीक है मेरा तो काम बन रहा है, now I will give you in the long term na? So you need to be good. That's the point. You need to be good. Yes. And you need to improve and stay humble कि ठीक है मेरे को और सीखना है इसमें और refine होना है. Like I think I love your mindset in terms of कि Shreya was still trying to figure out और इसको मैं कैसे refine कर सकती हूँ और better क्या कर सकती हूँ, इस field के आसपास और कोई opportunity है क्या. It's like an everlasting process.
Yeah. I think I want to give an example here. So for example, I was into project management, product management. There were still new tools, new technologies, new methodologies that were coming up. I was in communities very, very active. I was in Agile India. I was in, getting some certifications. I was learning new tools, endorsing them, trying them out, making mistakes. कई बार तो ऐसे होता था कि कुछ घंटे लगाए और उसका कुछ फायदा ही नहीं हुआ, वो घंटे लगाने का कुछ बनी ही नहीं बात. तो वो चीज मतलब you have to be good at your job also. Right, you have to be good at what you're doing and you have to stay involved there and try to keep improving, keep learning and be the best for that role.
So 3 things पता है यहाँ पे बड़ी interesting है. First, there is a difference between saying I'm fearless and then never trying. Right? I think people are not allowing themselves to make mistakes. They don't want to look like an idiot. And people who allow themselves to look like an idiot actually then become the best person in the room. They've already committed all the
सब कुछ बचा नहीं.
क्या कर लोगे और मतलब the second thing is solving rich people's problem. You can never become rich by helping a broke person. तो तुम्हें क्या ही देगा उसके लिए, right? You went into a niche where you realize कि ठीक है इस potential में अगर मेरा client इतना earn कर रहा है, एक product launch कर रहा है, that is where I can earn something good from it. So you also need to realize कि मुझे किस field में क्या potential है. I think that is what you need to see. People don't realize it. वरना आप कभी भी again coming to total addressable market, अगर आपकी reach इतनी है उस चीज की, you can be the best, absolute best in that, but market ही नहीं है भाई.
But चाहिए नहीं किसी को.
नहीं चाहिए किसी को.
अकेले करके क्या
करोगे? And then you can refine your skill like insanely, but it doesn't work.
Yes.
Last one, delegation. Like I don't know how much I would be obsessed in saying this, but if you can't delegate, you can never succeed, I would say. Like as a solopreneur, I think you have faced a lot of struggle. Then you realize कि team के साथ में scalability goes to another level, right?
Then I can do more things. I get free, even if I get some more. Yes, I can travel. Even if I get some more time to think, that is also a resource for me, that is also something that is an investment for my future, right? So even that time that I get to think or learn something new, not actively working and maybe delegating some of the repetitive tasks which might be new for somebody else but have become repetitive for me and maybe don't require my attention anymore. I think that is also a skill. If you are able to learn, I think you can scale up pretty fast because you get rid of a lot of the things that take up your mental space too. So try to do that.
I think you should try to remember you are a human. Right? And give other humans some opportunity. Like just like you have scaled up, like there are other people who want to learn from you.
Yes.
Right? So allow them to scale up as well. Like ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं जिस पायदान पे हूँ उस पायदान पे मैं जिंदगी भर रहूँगा. Like I will grow. I need to help other people grow along with me.
ओनरशिप रखो अपने पास, एक वो रखो कि फाइनल जो है प्रोडक्ट का क्वालिटी वो मेरे पास रहेगा, बट let them also make mistakes, give them some buffer time to do that, give them feedback, they will improve. शुरू में 2-3 बार नहीं होगा, उसके बाद वो कर लेंगे. So right now at this point in time I think you also are doing that. We have to delegate some of the work within content creation journey. If I'm trying to be a perfectionist कि मैं ही edit करूँगी सब कुछ, एक सेकंड की चीज़ मुझे सब पता होनी चाहिए, अभी भी मेरे content में गलती होती है और I have to go in the caption and correct it. It's fine. Like I think I still have to move forward. 80% 80-20 वाला जो rule होता है वो follow करते हैं.
Absolutely. करोगे नहीं मिस्टेक्स तो कैसे उसको अवॉइड करोगे फ्यूचर में, राइट? आई थिंक द मोर यू कैन मेक मिस्टेक्स अर्लियर द बेटर लाइफ यू कैन लिव इन द लॉन्ग वाइल, राइट? जल्दी कर लो ना यार. तब कर लो जब झटका झेल सकते हो rather than waiting for it.
इम्पैक्ट कम होगा उसका.
Yeah, impact कब होगा उसका? So now you are like close to 28, you realize this, you are working, scaling things, you have like realized कि अच्छा ये चीज में मेरा एक skill है. So I'm picking up a pattern is that be open in terms of experimentation.
Yeah.
Realize your worth, be efficient with your time, and focus on scaling. Right? इतना हो चुका है. What is the figure right now? 28, Shreya. Cross 1?
Yeah, crossed 1.
Cool.
Yes.
1 more to go. In last 2 years, right?
जो last few years वाला तो पता ही नहीं चला वो कब हुआ. वो तो मुझे समझ ही नहीं आया कि कब हुआ.
That's good.
Yeah. But yes, I think after that, what I unlocked was leadership positions. So in managerial positions, of course, the money is good. But when you're a leader, you are responsible for people. You are responsible for the success of that company as well. So for example, currently I'm the director of product at a US company. So there, it's a product company and I'm the director of product. So a lot of those decisions are with me. What next happens with the product now? And you know, I work very closely with the CEO and we define, okay, what next are we focusing on? There are so many things we can do. There are so many things the clients are asking for, but we have limited attention and limited resources to give. So what do we do? So all of that, I think that next salary का जो एक level unlock होता है वो leadership पर होता है, which I have been fortunate that I unlocked at a very young age, which people usually do after 35-40. So I think working with smaller and diverse sizes of companies as well, I think that has helped me a lot, where I understand my clients right now, the clients that my company works with, those are of like 10,000, 20,000 people companies, and the company that I'm working with currently, that itself is a 50 people company. So I have to understand their pain point, I have to understand my own company's pain point, and then I have to give value to both of them. Right? So I think that has given me a lot of exposure and confidence to be a leader as well, to be able to confidently make decisions and keep room for mistakes. Even if it happens right then itself, we stop and take some steps back and improve it. So I think that has helped me in the last 2 years or so. So from product manager, I have stepped into the director position very recently. I think still it has been a year, but yes, I've unlocked that. And now I'm focusing on lesser number of projects, but getting good pay from one single client itself, and also creating new streams of income, which one of them is content creation, which is giving me zero money right now. But that's where we all start, right? So
I think यहाँ पे ना एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि it's not just about skills, but it's also about the trust that you have compounded in years. I think one thing people don't realize, it's not just the money that compounds in life. It's the trust and relationships that also compound. Right? That is a one very big lesson that I have learned. Right? आपको ऐसा लगता है कि ठीक है ये एक पैरामीटर है जो आपको दिखता है ना 5% growth, 10% growth, but वो चीज दिखती नहीं है. But that gives you much more. Like now when you said this leadership वाला part, I am sure that it is not just because your time was worth it. your personality was also deserving of that opportunity कि श्रेया ने वो ट्रस्ट 10 साल में अर्न किया है या जितना भी टाइम उसने काम किया उस क्लाइंट के साथ में कि she deserve this kind of trust from my end कि she can take that decision that role और जितना तुम जैसे होता है ना जितने important decisions तुम क्लाइंट के लिए ले सकते हो that defines your actual network
yes.
you know मतलब जो भी तुम जिस वे में भी देखना चाहो पैसे से किसी भी चीज से and I think that is the beauty of life that we need to focus on. I think relationships give you a lot more than just money. Right?
Now that you say, I realize that too.
Yeah. It is a realization. It is a realization, right? It hits you hard.
Yeah.
It hits you hard. And that is why I feel people saying कि मेरे को ये बड़ा अच्छा लगा when my friend said this कि आप एक mountain में जब चढ़ते हो ना तो दूसरे माउंटेन के लिए आपको नीचे उतरना ही पड़ता है you cannot go from peak to peak right and like when you were also doing this zigzag कि ठीक है श्रेया हाँ चढ़ी but when you pick up this line कि हाँ this is my niche this is where I shine now I compound in this right now I need to be patient like I think I would give you hats off on the patience that you have लोगों को ऐसा लगे अरे 2 करोड़ कमा लिए 30 साल की उम्र के अंदर है but see the pattern last 3 years has given you more than 80% of your net worth.
Yeah.
Right? Why? Because that is when the things come on. Not just the money, but the opportunities.
The compounding effect, yes, of everything.
Of everything.
Yes.
Of everything. But what if you were not patient enough? You would have lost 1.5 CR.
I'm giving up.
What if? Right? And people are so impatient right now. They want to be billionaire at 17, at 18, at 19. How much have you worked for it? How much?
How much do you know about the world? About
Ask
the
yourself, do I deserve $1 billion? Why would someone give me $1 billion? Why? Like, logically ask yourself, right? I am not saying that you don't. I'm just saying that maybe at a point of time in your life, you'll say, yeah, I do.
Yes, I think, yes, if you have the answer to that question, wonderful.
Yeah, well, it's stupid to expect the wisdom of a 70-year-old person at 70. You have to live that age.
Yes.
Right?
Be patient with that.
Be patient with that.
Yes.
So you're around 29 now. You have broken a lot of mindset. You have broken a lot of myths for yourself. I think this is a myth buster journey, I would say. अपने साथ हम खेल रहे हैं. अपने साथ हम खेल रहे हैं. So when did this sink in कि यार श्रेया 1.5 करोड़ कमा लिए यार 29 की उम्र. I think in the last year you still made more than 50 lakhs. And that is when you completed your 2 crores and you are doing this with product management now, leadership role, which is giving you a good amount of monthly paycheck. What was the monthly thing that you were earning in the last year?
It was a little bit above 4.5 to 5 lakhs per month.
Yeah.
So I unlocked that, which I think I've never done before that, and didn't even know people could do it, and especially not coming from an IIM, IIT. And any fancy college, BTech, MBA, nothing of that sort. So
no IIT, no IIM. In fact, I think you left IIM. You got selected for it. So you can call yourself officially, I was worthy of IIM, but I rejected IIM.
I did not go forward with it. Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. Though you were earning around 4.5 to 5 in the last year. Uska aadha kar do, that is where I started.
Okay.
So it's like that, and I'm still humbled with that thing कि यार बेचारा इंसान इंजीनियरिंग करता है ये सारी चीजें करता है and what like the amount you were earning, it's very humbling. Why I would tell is it's an annual package for a lot of people. Even half of that is an annual package for a starting engineer in India still, which is pathetic, but it is. So it's around 3.25 is what people still start with. Like I don't know, this 6% का inflation बढ़ते जाता है लेकिन salary नहीं बढ़ती.
बढ़ती नहीं, 10 साल से ये सुन रहे हैं 3 लाख पैकेज.
25,000 से start होता है engineering. But I feel like this whole job sector will get extinct in a while. मतलब the things will transition more because now people have the flexibility. COVID ने काफी ज़्यादा help कर दिया to break some taboos कि यार बंदे घर से काम नहीं कर सकते हैं यार बंदी ने 2 करोड़ कमा लिया. कर सकते हैं. I want to go back to just summarizing this. I think I would let you summarize it, but before that, एक चीज मैं श्रेया की हाईलाइट करना चाहूंगा. I think she is very meticulous and she has tracked this whole progress. मतलब हो सकता है आपने 2 करोड़ से ज्यादा भी कमा लिए होते हैं, but आपको पता कैसे चलता है कि यार कमाए भी हैं. Right. So I want you to highlight the importance of firstly being patient and then tracking your progress. I think you have an Excel.
Yes, I have an Excel sheet which is very in depth, and I of course I spend some time on my finances every month. So every month I put like 1 hour on my calendar to just make sure that my money, that whatever I have earned is also, you know, getting some respect and it's getting to the right place. So you put so much effort in earning the money, but you don't end up taking care of it, then what's the point? So respect it and make sure that you're putting it to the right investment channels, whatever they could be for you. And next, I also want to share that I've been tracking, like, I think I did not start tracking it back then, but I think 5-6 years ago, what I did was I wanted to see how much monthly money how have I grown from that. There were some months stagnant, but at this point in time, in the last 10 years, I've made my money like 550 times the monthly pay.
Yeah, you
that I
mentioned to
used.
me, 2014 it was around 1,000.
Yes.
2024 it's like 5,50,000
Yes,
के आसपास. So
yes.
I think 550
500
times is like इतनी कौन growth करता है यार, तुम beat कर रहे हो market को. That's insane यार, that's very much insane. I don't know, मेरे को तो सिर्फ इतना पता है मैंने credit पे कितना उड़ाया है. Like that's the only tracking that I've done. I wish I would have met you earlier and I would have maintained this. Actually, I think this whole journey of meeting people have given me a lot of wisdom. I think this is the easiest way to, I think, grow as a person is to meet people who are doing better than you. I think I have learned a lot from you in terms of planning and in terms of the direction, in terms of, like, I know it's possible because Shreya is here and she has done it. So thank you for breaking that taboo for a lot of people. I think your audience follows you for like letting them know कि अरे आप Thailand से काम कर सकते हो, आप कहीं Singapore से काम कर सकते हो. And it's not necessary that if you're a girl you cannot leave your country. If you're a girl you cannot earn. I think I have a huge respect for you. When I spoke this line is because you're not just breaking one taboo of earning things. You come from Chandigarh, from a humble background. A lot of people judge girls for this thing कि यार इनका तो potential उतना नहीं होता जितना, because there is a market variation in the pay of girls and in the pay of guys, right? And I would respectfully acknowledge that, right? I'm not gonna hide it. And you have broken the taboo कि what a woman who's dedicated can earn on her own independently. You did not had a guru to guide you here, right? You were just constantly, damn it, figuring it out. Think about it. Think about
That's
it. Like
true, yes.
I like when I speak this line, I also think like figure out तो मैं भी कर ही रहा हूँ. I think life is like that.
Yes.
आपको एक बार में नहीं पता चलेगा. We cannot give you one thing that will definitely work for you, but I can give you a path that will definitely let you figure out what works for you. Right?
Give you all the resources.
Yeah.
And
If I would have never thought I would become a founder. Like now I have a firm, Social Symphony, and it started with giving consultation on strategy. Then I have my own podcast team. तो वो podcast team इसमें काम आ सकती है. How did I realize? Because I tried something. अच्छा ये चल रहा है. This figuring this thing out. Then I said, okay, मैं retainer पे ला सकता हूँ clients को, right? I can provide them branding. I can provide them distribution. This is what people want. This is what founders want. They don't have time. They have money. I can save their time. They will give me money for that. It's simple exchange, right? But I would tell this, like Neeraj had no idea. Like by this time my Josh is also released now. So like एक साल पहले कौन सोचता है यार, like 14th August I was like Dream with Neeraj बनाया, उस पे मैंने वीडियो डाला, and now 14th 2024 my Josh comes out. Like I would, in my wildest dream, Shreya, in my wildest dream I would not have thought it, but I wrote it. But I wrote it. So it's like being a founder, becoming a speaker, coming into top 100 speakers in the country. A lot of things happen. Why? Because you gave yourself a chance. That is what I spoke on Josh as well. You give yourself a chance. Shreya gave herself a chance. Like, ठीक है, I am हो, ये हो, वो हो, degree हो. Why are you limited by the notions around you? Like, if you were limited by the notions around you, आज तुम होते ही नहीं यहाँ पे ना हम podcast में बात कर रहे हो.
बिल्कुल.
How many countries have you traveled?
I'm close to 20 now.
Close to 20.
Yes.
Right. ये भी नहीं होता लोगों से भाई. By the age you not like.
I agree.
मैंने भी नहीं किया भाई. To be very honest. But with your help I'm gonna do this.
Yes, of course. I'm there to support you for that.
मतलब मैं literally Shreya is my go-to person in terms of travel. Obviously you follow her for please check her out on Insta. She is doing amazing. The last time that we spoke, she literally had 0 followers. I think the page was not existent. Right? Now I think she have crossed 20 or something around
25, 26K. Yes.
Amazing. Like it's just been 3 months, right?
Yes. I think 4 or 5 months. 4 or 5 months.
And she has literally planned this. Like guys, I'm telling you, this lady is a really a very nice planner, but it's not the planning. I think plan काफी लोग कर लेते हैं. It's the execution. I think
Execution too.
I know how hard it is to consistently put the content, whether it's you, whether it's the team, figuring it out, what works, what does not work. I think अभी मेरे को कॉल याद है श्रेया के साथ में, like नीरज कैसे करना है मेरे को बता देना इस चीज में थोड़ा सा.
मुझे कुछ नहीं पता.
मुझे कुछ नहीं पता. We met at how to Instagram, right? तो वो कोर्स भी Instagram के ऊपर ग्रो करने के बारे में ही था, right? And I was like, ठीक है मेरा Instagram तो ग्रो हो गया है. At the point of time when I bought that course, I already had 40,000 followers on Instagram, right? The only reason I bought it कि ठीक है चलो इसमें से और कुछ लर्न करने मिल सकता है.
शायद कुछ मिल जाए.
Because I'm helping people strategize, right? So why not learn more and more about it? So being humble and always understanding there is something you can always learn. Makes you a unique person. It gives you the growth that people don't have. I think we have covered a lot. I would let you summarize this whole journey. What are the key things that you want to make people remember?
I think I want to give some disclaimers first.
Done.
First, it's not going to be glamorous. I mean, अभी का लगता है जब हो जाती है सारी चीजें तब लगता है कि यार ठीक है, this girl is living the life, but of course you know, but of course it never happened in the first, I think the longest time it did not happen back then. And the second disclaimer is it's not going to be linear, right? It's going to be full of ups and downs, things running in parallel, crossing paths and whatnot. So maybe something that you were doing is ending and something good is coming to a start, but you don't even know that it's going to grow into something bigger. So it may not be always linear and glamorous, right? But to still simplify and break the whole thing down, if I want to give you a recipe, what I would do, I think it would be almost 3 to 4 months of effort. Very, very realistic. If you're super fast, it can happen in 2 months too. Okay, so how you start, I think if you're already, let's say, in your journey where you have figured out your skills, you've figured out, okay, what I want to do next professionally, that's amazing. But if you are at a younger stage, you have, of course, time, but take that time to experiment, take that time to learn. Now, how to learn? Try different things. Try to join companies on a pro bono basis or on internships. Try to reach out to your network and try to give them your time as a resource and see what works for them, what works for you. Try to also engage into a lot of communities. So if you're already, you know about the industry that you want to work in, then try different roles. If you already know the role that you want to work in, try different industries. But there, at some point in time, you will discover that, you know, cross section, the intersection of industry and the role that you will be growing into, deeper into. But take your time to figure it all out. So I think that is the first step that you can take if you're just starting off. Okay, so जैसे इंडस्ट्री में हो गया, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप आईटी में जाना चाहते हो, आप कंस्ट्रक्शन में जाना चाहते हो, आप कंटेंट में जाना चाहते हो, आप किस चीज़ में जाना चाहते हो, आप वो आराम से टेक योर टाइम, फिगर इट आउट, टॉक टू पीपल. ठीक है. उसके बाद रोल में, अच्छा आप कहाँ कंट्रीब्यूट करना चाहते हो, आप किसी नीश रोल में जाना चाहते हो, आप कोडर बनना चाहते हो, आप वीडियो एडिटर बनना चाहते हो, या फिर आप इंजीनियर बनना चाहते हो, वहाँ पर भी टेक योर टाइम टू फिगर आउट द रोल एज वेल. इवन इफ यू आर डन विद योर कॉलेज, स्टिल यू हैव टाइम. डोंट बी इन अ रश कि मुझे जल्दी से अच्छा पैकेज चाहिए, कुछ चाहिए. टेक योर टाइम बिकॉज दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग जर्नी मूविंग फॉरवर्ड. सो डोंट टेक दैट फर्स्ट स्टेप इन अ रश. ठीक है. तो take your time, money will come. Okay, when you know you're giving value, then the money you will attract it.
Definitely.
ठीक है. उसके बाद आपका अगर वो वाली चीज़ फिगर आउट हो गई है, ठीक है, तो वो अपनी डिमांड के साथ भी मैच करनी है. तो सप्लाई और डिमांड को समझना जरूरी है मार्केट में. वो कैसे समझोगे आप? अगेन, टॉक टू पीयर्स, टॉक टू पीपल हु हैव ऑलरेडी अकम्प्लिश्ड समथिंग इन दैट रोल वेयर यू वांट टू वेंचर इनटू. ठीक है. उनसे आप बात कर सकते हो, उनसे आप पूछ सकते हो कि अच्छा ठीक है, आपको नेक्स्ट 5 years कैसे दिख रहे हैं, आपका भी रोल कैसा है, आपको क्या क्या रिसोर्सेज लगे वहाँ तक पहुँचने में. ठीक है. वो चीज़ को आप कंप्लीटली ब्रेक डाउन करके समझो, अलग अलग लोगों से अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव्स लो, अलग अलग साइज की कंपनीज, अलग अलग जोग्राफीज भी हो सकती है. यू कैन टॉक टू पीपल आउटसाइड ऑफ इंडिया ऑल्सो. आप सिर्फ अपने बबल से, मतलब बबल में मत बैठे रहो. देर आर प्लेटफॉर्म्स लाइक ADP List, there are platforms like LinkedIn. You can just reach out to people and ask for feedback.
Like I messaged you, you're here.
Yes. So don't hesitate. Try to draft a nice message. Try to share what you are wanting to get from them, and just ask for a virtual coffee or 15 minutes of time, and try to get their experience. Try to get whatever they've learned in the last many years in 15 minutes, whatever they can give you. Try to get that. ठीक है. तो वो जब आप सीखोगे, आपके पास पर्सपेक्टिव्स बिल्ड होंगे अलग अलग लोगों के. ठीक है. उससे आपको थोड़ी सी क्लैरिटी मिलेगी कि क्या चीज़ नहीं करनी है. एटलीस्ट वो तो आप जिसको बोलते हैं क्रॉस आउट कर सकते हो.
डेफिनेटली.
ठीक है. at this point in time, now you know your skills, now you know the industry that you want to get into. ठीक है, उसके बाद आप क्या करोगे? Take some time to sharpen your skills. ठीक है, चैट जीपीटी आपको बता देगा आप कौन से टूल सीखो, आप कौन से स्किल सीखो.
एआई तो एग्जिस्ट करता ही नहीं था पहले, अब तो मतलब
अब तो आपको पूरा वो भी रोड मैप बना के दे देगा.
हाँ, चैट जीपीटी 4 भी फ्री हो गया.
तो लेट्स से अभी आज की डेट में मैं फॉर एग्जांपल सोशल मीडिया मैनेजर बनना चाहती हूँ. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा मुझे नीच डाउन करना चाहिए कि ठीक है मैं एजुकेशन कंटेंट के लिए सोशल मीडिया मैनेजर बनना चाहती हूँ.
फाइनेंस, ट्रैवल, एनीथिंग.
ठीक है, तो अगर आप नीच डाउन करोगे आप अपनी वैल्यू बढ़ा रहे हो. ठीक है, क्योंकि आपके लिए कुछ सेट ऑफ क्लाइंट्स हैं ऑलरेडी फिल्टर्ड आउट एंड यू हैव टू रीच आउट टू देम. ठीक है, और उनको आप स्पेशलाइज्ड सर्विस दे रहे हो, उनको आप जेनेरिक चीज नहीं दे रहे हो, आप उनको उनके लिए स्पेसिफिक उनके लिए सूट करने वाली चीज आप ऑफर कर रहे हो. ठीक है, तो उसके लिए पहले अपना आप स्किल्स बिल्ड करो. ऑफ कोर्स आप देख सकते हो कि सोशल मीडिया के लिए कौन से टूल्स आजकल चल रहे हैं. दोज ऑल्सो कीप चेंजिंग, सो स्टे अप टू डेट ऑन दैट. जॉइन सम कम्युनिटीज जस्ट लाइक वी डिड. So there are lots of communities for social media managers. There are Facebook groups, there are LinkedIn groups, there are Slack groups. There are lots of platforms like NAS का अपना platform है community. मतलब कितने आजकल तो अनगिनत हैं. ठीक है, but join those communities. Try to stay in touch. Now there are tools also that you need to learn. For example, again I'll just continue the example of social media manager. Hootsuite है जो आप सीख सकते हो. ठीक है, then you need to learn some analytics tools also so that you read the data that you're collecting as a social media manager. So there are these things that you will have to learn. ठीक है, ये हार्ड स्किल्स हो गई. हार्ड स्किल्स आपको सीखनी पड़ेंगी. सॉफ्ट स्किल्स में आई थिंक हमने पॉडकास्ट में पूरी सॉफ्ट स्किल्स के बारे में बहुत बात की है, कैसे अपने आप की स्किल्स आपने बेचनी है और सब कुछ करना है. बट येस, to give you a very clear plan of action on the soft skills part, make sure that you have a portfolio. A portfolio could be anything. A portfolio can be
it's an
it could be anything. But it has to show, let's say आप अपने आप को क्लाइंट के शूज में इमेजिन करो. ठीक है, कि आप एक अब सोशल मीडिया मैनेजर को हायर कर रहे हो.
क्लियर मैसेज.
हाँ, तो आपको क्या चाहिए होगा सोशल मीडिया मैनेजर में? तो आपको क्या चीज देखकर खुशी होगी कि अच्छा ठीक है इसने ये चीज कर रखी है ऑलरेडी. एंड इवन इफ यू डोंट गेट योर फर्स्ट क्लाइंट जो कि आपको पे कर रहा है, आप अपना फ्री में कुछ अपने आप ही केस स्टडी बना लो. अपने आप ही इमेजिन कर लो कि अच्छा ठीक है अगर मेरा क्लाइंट ऐसा होता तो मैं क्या करती या क्या करता. ठीक है, तो उस हिसाब से आप अपना एक पोर्टफोलियो स्टार्टिंग में बना सकते हो which can even be an imaginary project.
Yeah, it does not need to be a real client as well. Like you can showcase them ki if I get a finance client, I would do this. If I get a travel client, I think you can make even more than one. Like बना दो हर niche पे जिसको पसंद आ जाए भाई,
उसको वो भेजो. एग्जैक्टली. फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से अगर आप इवन एग्जिस्टिंग कोई पेज है ना उसको उठा के बता सकते हो कि अगर मैं इनकी सोशल मीडिया मैनेजर होती तो मैं ये चीजें इंप्रूव करती. ठीक है, तो ये चीजें आप बनाकर रख सकते हो. दैट इज योर पोर्टफोलियो एंड इट शुड इंक्लूड द टूल्स दैट यू यूज. इट शुड इंक्लूड अ क्लियर प्लान ऑफ एक्शन बिफोर एंड आफ्टर. अगर पहले ऐसा है तो आफ्टर ये होना चाहिए. और इतने मेरा गोल होता है क्वालिटेटिव वाइज एंड क्वांटिटेटिव वाइज. ठीक है, तो वो दोनों एस्पेक्ट्स आप कवर कर सकते हो कि आप क्या रिजल्ट्स लेकर आओगे एज अ सोशल मीडिया मैनेजर फॉर दैट क्लाइंट. ठीक है, तो ये आपका बन गया पोर्टफोलियो. द नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट यू वुड डू इज क्रिएट एन आउटरीच स्ट्रैटेजी. ठीक है, कहाँ पर आपके प्लेटफॉर्म्स होने चाहिए, कहाँ पर आपका डिजिटल प्रेजेंस होना चाहिए.
बेसिकली मार्केटिंग.
यस, योर ओन मार्केटिंग. सो इट कैन बी अ पोर्टफोलियो, इट कैन बी समवेयर वेयर पीपल आर एबल टू फाइंड यू.
मतलब इसका कोई फायदा नहीं कि तुम चाहे बहुत ब्रिलियंट हो अपने स्किल में, लोगों को पता ही नहीं तुम्हारे बारे में, तो कैसे कांटेक्ट करेंगे, कैसे तुम्हें पे करेंगे भाई, बताओ लोगों को.
सो बी आउट देयर.
एब्सोल्युटली. आई थिंक कंटेंट हम कर ही क्यों रहे हैं. लाइक content, why people create content is to allow themselves to reach masses. I think that is the thing. I have touched now around 20 million plus lives in this past. घर घर जाके भी नहीं कर पाता.
बिल्कुल सोच भी नहीं सकते हमारे सामने 20 मिलियन लोग बैठे हो.
Exactly. Like even for me like 500 was a lot. 500 लोग सामने खड़े होके चिल्लाएंगे तो भाई हिल जाता है बंदा. And I would give one interesting take in this thing, like you beautifully summarize it, ki take your time, understand demand and supply, reach out to people, work on yourself, showcase yourself, right? Entire roadmap. If I would do it like, if you are somebody who understands travel, like you understand travel, you understand freelancing, you understand remote work, so you know the nuances.
Yes.
That's your unique selling proposition. Right? A lot of people don't understand this, कि चलो coffee सब बेच रहे हैं, अब आ गया boba tea. USP, ठीक है, मैंने क्या डाला, जो भी कर दिया भाई उसके अंदर. It is just a matter of choice whether you like it or not, but it's unique now. It's not just coffee. So if you know something specific about a niche which you feel कि ये किसी को नहीं पता, किसी को observe नहीं किया, उसी पे बात करो.
Yes, exactly.
उसी पे बात करो. If I would just go back into that shoes, if I'm 22, 21, I would definitely pick up SMM because it's trending. Then I would definitely start reaching out to people who are actually earning, because वो अगर वो खुद कमा नहीं रहा तो मेरे को क्या पैसा देगा. Then I tell them, then I will actually make a case study already.
Yes.
कि आप ये चीज कर रहे हो गलत, अभी आप ये कर लो, देखो आपको क्या फायदा होता है. And once they think, अरे जबरदस्त, now you help me do it. right?
Come.
And your unique selling proposition, whatever it is, travel, finance, personal development, whatever it is, go as deep as possible. As deep as possible.
Yes.
Once you do that, nobody can replace you.
जितना आप स्पेसिफिक बना सकते हो ना, और आप उसी यूज केस को आप केटर कर रहे हो, तो वो उनको पता है कि उनको आपके अलावा कोई मिलेगा ही नहीं. सिंपल सी बात है. तो वट एवर मनी यू आस्क फॉर एंड वट एवर दे कैन पे यू विल गेट दैट. Then you can completely you know that there is no competitor आसपास, कोई peers हैं भी तो आपके आसपास का कोई नहीं.
Exactly. Now पता है मेरे को एक थोड़ा सा इसमें शिफ्ट करना, because we are to the last segment of the podcast and I feel like we have discussed कि कैसे श्रेया 20 से 30 में she earned 2 crores. What is the mindset required? What is the pattern required? कैसे करना है? क्या mistakes नहीं करनी है उस जर्नी के अंदर? Be patient. पता है एक important aspect क्या है श्रेया? I've realized in this whole journey, like me also being unconventional, there is a lot of moment where you just need to ignore everything around you, right? Because nobody around you will understand, right? So I want to talk about a girl who broke a lot of taboo, right? Because a lot of girls will watch you as an idol, irrespective of the gender. The mindset, like after earning 2 crores, between somewhere around 1 crore जैसे पार कर लिया, एक दिमाग ढक्कन खुल जाता है कि भाई ये हो सकता है. कहाँ मैं रो रही थी, लड़ रही थी इन चीजों से, छोटी चीजों से यार नाखून टूट गया तो राइट होता है, राइट? एस्पेशली आई हैव सीन माय सिस्टर क्राई अबाउट इट. अरे यार बहुत मेहनत से बनाया था और टूट गया, अब सब तोड़ने पड़ेंगे. So I want to talk about the mindset that how did you like stay humble? It's a big amount. How do you stay humble? You have traveled a lot of countries. I want to talk about just Shreya now, like for last 10 minutes. कि क्या feel हो रहा है इस वक्त की podcast पे आऊँगी, ये तो ठीक है, that's one thing. But this whole journey, if you just look back in time, 10 years of Shreya, I just want you to be very candid and talk to anybody out there.
I think first 5 years, जैसे मैं अपना वो वाला चाइल्डहुड वाला टाइम तो मैं सोचती हूँ कि वो एग्जिस्ट करता था नहीं करता था वो एक बराबर है. लेकिन जो मेरा एक्चुअली में स्टार्ट हुआ, दैट वाज लाइक वेरी टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ माय मास्टर्स ऑलमोस्ट. दैट्स व्हेन आई अंडरस्टूड लाइक आई हैव टू स्टेप इनटू द रियल वर्ल्ड.
You started creating Shreya.
हाँ, उस टाइम तक लग गया था कि कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. बाकी लोग भी पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं. They were also like, because the kind of environment I was in, the class, you know, my students there in my batch, they were mostly there just to like, you know, just to have a degree and then maybe start a family or something, because most of them were females from like tier 3 cities, etc., which I understand, you know, the kind of background they come from and
which is absolutely fine,
how they were conditioned.
Yeah.
So for me, trying to come up with a completely crazy idea, जैसे कि मैंने तो हमारी सिटी में ना जो ऐसी लंबी स्काई स्क्रेपर्स टाइप बिल्डिंग्स है ही नहीं, चंडीगढ़ में नहीं है. So one day I was like, I just told my mom like I want to go to a ऐसे कोई स्काई स्क्रेपर और मुझे कभी वहाँ से काम करना है. Mama was like, what are you saying? Like, what is this? Like, where did this come from? ये कहाँ से आया?
ये approach कहाँ से आई?
और मतलब मुझे नहीं पता था. उसके 2-3 साल बाद I was sitting in Indonesia, in Jakarta, working for a company from 67th floor. ठीक है? तो मुझे तो वहाँ पर ऐसे realize हुआ, मैंने कहा wait, like I think I dreamt about this, maybe.
Yeah, and right now you are coming from Vietnam.
Yeah. Yes. So I think yes, it did go like I think in a certain direction जिसके अंदर कि मैं चाहती छोटी चीज थी, but I think attracting bigger than that.
Absolutely.
I was just wanting a little bit of my financial independence so that I could maybe go for an MBA when I wanted to. We did not have the money for that. So अगर मुझे MBA चाहिए थी तो अब मुझे मिल भी गई. उसके बाद मुझे UK के कॉलेज में भी एक मिल गई थी, but I did not go forward with it. Even though I had the money, like I had a lot of buffer money, a lot of buffer time too, but ठीक है, I have the flexibility now to make that decision. मेरे पास पूरी luxury है कि मैं उसको भी ना बोल सकती हूँ अभी के टाइम में. तो I think वो पूरी चीज़ जो है वो उसने मुझे ये तो सिखाया ही है कि there can be some crazy decisions that we end up making. I'll give you another recent example. जैसे अभी Instagram के growth की हम बात कर रहे हैं. So I went to Thailand for 2 months. ठीक है, मैं ऑफ कोर्स मैं घूम रही थी, बट वो 2 महीने में मैंने जो कंटेंट का बफर बनाया ना, वो सारा ही इंस्टाग्राम मेरा इस टाइम चला रहा है. उसी से मेरे अभी 30,000 के अराउंड जो फॉलोअर्स आ गए हैं वो. आई थिंक दैट वाज लाइक इफ आई स्टार्ट टू एक्सप्लेन टू समबडी आई एम गोइंग टू थाईलैंड टू क्रिएट कंटेंट, it's like what
Crazy.
are you saying, like you don't even have a channel, what are you doing?
And that too, like, when you're non-existent, like non-existent, like very crazy.
Yes, and why Thailand? Like why can't you just do it at your home?
Yeah.
Like I want that mental space. I want a new environment.
Especially, yeah.
So I think those crazy ideas can come up. You can end up pursuing them. They can also end up being a failure. So it's fine to just go ahead and try and give yourself, cut some slack also. कि इतना भी ज़्यादा वो मत करो कि.
I think this has become my pet dialogue, but I'm gonna say it again. It's like पहली ताली आपको ही बजानी पड़ती है. Like then later I think the whole world celebrates, but you need to celebrate yourself the first. Especially in times when people don't understand you. I wanna go back to the time when I think even your parents would have gone through a mindset reshift ki, because I've seen that in my family as well कि Shreya was talking initially like crazy हो गई हमारी बच्ची और उसके बाद से like when you gifted them car, when you like showed them कि देखो आपकी बच्ची ने 1 करोड़ कमा लिया. Like I want to talk to that कि पहली बार जब when you told that to your mom, like what was the reaction? Like देखो मम्मी 1000 आ रहा था 0 लग गए उसके आगे. Like what was the reaction? Because I think this is very emotional for a lot of people, especially for parents, but a lot of people who like just aspire to earn such amount and then actually do it.
एक बहुत ही फनी चीज़ बताती हूँ. जो हमारे इंडियन पेरेंट्स स्पेशली जो गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स वगैरह में रहना, उनको लगता है अगर आपके पास पैसे आ रहे हैं तो आप कुछ गलत कर रहे हो. कुछ तो आप कुछ गलत कि
कहाँ सट्टा लगाया है, कहाँ लॉटरी लगी है,
कुछ गलत तो नहीं कर रहे. मतलब उनका पहला रिएक्शन ये था, बट देन आई एक्सप्लेन देम लाइक कि ऐसा टेक्नोलॉजी में आजकल बहुत पैसा है, ठीक है, दिस इज हाउ कंपनीज आर गेटिंग बिल्ट, दिस इज हाउ मच मनी दे हैव. देन दे अंडरस्टूड एंड दे वर वेरी वेरी सपोर्टिव आफ्टर दैट. बट उनको सेम पेज पर लेकर आना एक बारी के लिए मुश्किल हो जाता है.
You need to earn that support. Yeah.
Yes, so I think for them also it was a complete shift because we've not seen those kind of companies in our home city, ठीक है, और उन्होंने हमारी फैमिली में ऐसा जॉब करने वाले लोग भी नहीं देखे हैं, ये इस टाइप का काम करने वाले लोग नहीं देखे हैं. सो फॉर देम आई थिंक इट वाज इंपॉर्टेंट टू जस्ट कीप टेलिंग देम व्हाट आई एम डूइंग, ठीक है. तो फिर उससे थोड़ा सा गैप ब्रिज हो जाता है फाइनली.
क्या बोला था मम्मी ने? श्रेया
मतलब जो आईटी कंपनी ज्वाइन करने के बाद के इंटरनल रोल्स शिफ्ट हुए ना, सेल्स, ये सब जो मैनेजमेंट, प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट, प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट, इसमें आई थिंक उनको इतना ज़्यादा समझ नहीं आता था, बट एटलीस्ट उनको आईटी कंपनीज का बेस समझ में आ गया था कि आईटी कंपनीज पे यू वेल बिकॉज these products reach out to millions of people. So I think that logic made sense to them and they started seeing the examples. अच्छा ठीक है, Uber कंपनी ऐसी है, Google ऐसी कंपनी है, वो यहाँ से पैसे कमा रहे होंगे, तो इसीलिए उनके एम्प्लॉइज इतने पैसे कमा रहे हैं, etc. So yes.
I want to know the first line that like, has it ever happened that you have told your mom like I want this much amount, मेरे को इतना आ रहा है, पहली बार? When she had like, what was her reaction in terms of, I know she said like पक्का सही तरीके से, but apart from that, सच्ची कितना कमा लेता है? Like what was that one statement that if you can remember, which is funny or like anything you want to add?
I think उनके लिए जैसे जब फ्रीलांसर के लिए अमाउंट मांग रहे होते हैं ना, I think that is kind of crazier than getting it as a salary.
Yeah.
So if you are getting as a salary, it's like a package कि annual package इतना है और उसमें से आपको इतने पैसे मिल रहे हैं. That is easier to explain. राइट, बट एज अ फ्रीलांसर ये मुझे इतने लाख रुपए दे रहे हैं, ये मुझे इतने लाख रुपए दे रहे हैं, और ये हाँ कि अच्छा ठीक है, वो कैसे भेजेंगे पैसे आपको? मतलब वो एक और बहुत फनी था कि एक क्लाइंट यूएस के थे और उन्होंने बोला वो आपको कैश भेजेंगे. मतलब उनको था कि पैसे आएंगे कैसे,
यूएस से कैसे आएंगे इतने,
तो वो आएंगे कैसे पैसे? तो मतलब वो सब कि हाँ मेरे पास एक ऐसे पेपाल होता है, ठीक है, वाइज होता है, ये सब होता है, स्विफ्ट अकाउंट होता है. सो आई थिंक दोस आल्सो, आई मीन नाउ आई एम रियलाइजिंग वी फिगर्ड इट आउट, राइट, गूगल कर करके कि पैसे कैसे मांगते हैं क्लाइंट्स, ये सब. बट यस, आई थिंक इट वाज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग जर्नी टू आल्सो कीप योर पेरेंट्स अलोंग एंड कीप देम एजुकेटेड कि बेटी कर क्या रही है, ताकि वो बाकी लोगों को क्या बताएंगे कि बेटी क्या करती है.
So true. I think मैं यहाँ पे दो चीजें बोलना चाहूँगा. You cannot be poor if you have a dream. I think you started with just a dream, right? Even with this content creation part.
Yeah.
Like एक लड़की का सपना ही तो था कि चलो चंडीगढ़ से बाहर निकलना है, चंडीगढ़ से दिल्ली आ गए, दिल्ली से बाहर निकलना है ना, इंडिया से कहीं और सिंगापुर पहुंच गए, सिंगापुर में पहुंच के चला अब तो हर जगह जा सकते हैं, इंडिया से बाहर ही आ गए. तो like it just starts with one step at a time, but you don't know that step will lead you to what. So right true. And it just keeps on breaking that bubble. अच्छा ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी. But I'm gonna warn you, like you know, this whole journey is very demanding to yourself. आजकल तो लोग iPhone नहीं मिलता तो डिप्रेशन का बहाना दे देते हैं, but it takes a lot. And I've realized this in last 1.5 years. When you start working on yourself, you need to accept all of your faults. The life changes when you start accepting towards my fault. If I'm poor, my fault. If somebody left me, my fault.
Yeah, stop being miserable or a victim. Yes.
मतलब I have realized this, there are two kind of people. One who will always blame others. उसकी वजह से मेरे साथ ये हो रहा है. And I've seen this a lot in the last generation, but now I've seen in the kids as well कि मेरे पास तो सब है, but ये मेरा फ्रेंड ही गलत है, या मेरा कॉलेज ही गलत है, या मेरे को अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं आती है, मेरे को तो इंस्टाग्राम ही स्क्रॉल करना. भाई जब तक तो इसी में फंसे रहोगे कुछ नहीं हो सकता.
बल्कि जब सक्सेसफुल हो जाओगे ना तब दूसरों के ऊपर डालोगे ना क्रेडिट, दैट विल बी इवन बेटर.
Exactly.
राइट, लेट्स से मतलब अभी आप एक सक्सेसफुल पर्सन बन गए, देन गिव क्रेडिट टू द सर्कमस्टांसेस, गिव क्रेडिट टू द अपॉर्चुनिटीज, टू द पीपल हु वर विद यू, हु सपोर्टेड यू, हु ट्रस्टेड you. I think that is way more important than blaming when you're not able to make it.
I think I would like to thank all 20 million plus people who have like helped Neeraj become Dream with Neeraj. Like मैंने अभी recently ये reel में भी बोला था, like we think that we have to fight alone, but you cannot win alone. Like I think I've met people like you, and I think अभी तो मैं और लोगों से मिलूंगा, I will develop this relationships, and that is actually what will help me sustain my goals. Right? It's the support of people like you. Like I know we have had that kind of conversation where like we're just supporting each other in that space. कि ठीक है Shreya, we'll figure it out. Neeraj, you'll figure it out. Like even we talked about this Josh and your opportunity, which will soon be out, which is a big step for you. I know I won't disclose it, but yeah, that's a crazy thing. Right? And one again warning that I'll give you is that when you are like whatever you say, black sheep, black wolf in your family, like I'm a first generation entrepreneur, you're like first generation digital nomad, right? Then I guess you need to be okay with a lot of things that never happened in your family, because nobody like you were born.
Yes.
Right? तो मैं जो चीजें face कर रहा हूँ, how can your parent understand? It's stupid to expect. Right?
It's unfair, I think, to expect कि वो एक बार में बोलेंगे कि हाँ ठीक है, मतलब it's fine.
Yeah. Like now, if my kid turns out to be a digital nomad, I would understand, right? I have a friend like that. So now you would, but I would say allow people to understand you, allow yourself the time to understand. I think that's the beauty of life. I think that's one of the amazing episodes that I've shot. Really thankful, Shreya, to spend this time with you, to learn. I think I have learned a lot personally. I would just love to end this with one of the things that you think has been the highlight quality of you in this past 10 years, that has led you not to just financial success, but success as a person, being comfortable in our own skin. Shreya खुश है भाई. Like मैं आज irrespective of the fancy titles that I have, नीरज को पता है नीरज कौन है. Right? I think that's the win in life.
So true. I think for me, that thing is to not compare my journey with anybody else. In the beginning, when I started off, I was in a rush to compensate the time that I lost.
Exactly.
So मैं B.Tech वालों के साथ अपने आप को compare कर रही थी, जो लोग CAT देकर IIMs में जा रहे थे, मैं उनके साथ खुद को compare कर रही थी. So I was like in a rush कि मैं कब उतना package unlock करूँगी, package ये वो. मतलब समझ में आता था, but ऐसा लगता था कि पता नहीं कभी होगा या नहीं, और मैंने क्या time lose कर दिया. But I think like after just 1.5 years of that, I realized like what am I fighting for? Like मेरा उनके साथ comparison नहीं है. मैं अगर अपनी एक अच्छी जर्नी बना पाती हूँ, ठीक है, और अपनी उस जर्नी के अंदर खुश रह पाती हूँ, और जो मैं करना चाहती हूँ वो फिगर आउट कर लेती हूँ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, नाउ आई नो दैट आई लव वर्किंग इन दी सोशल इम्पैक्ट स्पेस, विच हैव नॉट हर्ड फ्रॉम एनीबडी एल्स, कि किसी को सोशल इम्पैक्ट और टेक को कंबाइन करना पसंद है या कुछ. बट आई ट्राइड डिफरेंट थिंग्स एंड आई फिगर्ड इट आउट एज अ पार्ट ऑफ द जर्नी, एंड इट माइट चेंज इन द फ्यूचर टू. राइट? सो आई थिंक not comparing your journey, not trying to copy somebody कि ओ उसका तो इतना पैकेज लगा इसके बाद, like
इसकी तो शादी हो गई, इसके तो बच्चे
उसको
हो गए.
हाँ, वो चीज़ के साथ कंपेयर करने का पॉइंट ही नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. Create your own journey. It will definitely become an epitome for somebody who is an aspiring person in your domain itself, right? So make it your own unique story. And I think it sounds cliche, but it's just like,
write your own destiny.
Write your own destiny, write your own story.
Kudos to that.
Yes.
I think you have beautifully summarized this whole thing, because yesterday I was talking with one of my friends who's like came from Japan. He feels like a failure because he's returned from Japan without a job. Right? Tell him, why are you judging yourself with one parameter in life? Like finance is important, I don't deny that. But you are much more than one thing in your life. As a guy, it is a little bit more for the guys, because their worth is calculated based upon their bank account. Yeah. Yes. So I was like, okay, people will tell you that. But what do you tell yourself is
It's so important, yes.
So important. Yeah. So thank you once again. I would leave the podcast here, and I'm sure you will be back on the show, because I think we both will keep on growing, and we have a lot to share. I would say just keep on believing in yourself, and share this with one person at least, so that they can aspire to dream big and change their life and write their own testing. Thank you, Shreya.
Thank you so much for having me. You're a great host. Thank you.
हमारी बस एक छोटी सी रिक्वेस्ट है, अगर आप लोगों को ये पॉडकास्ट अच्छा लग रहा है ना और इससे आपकी लाइफ में वैल्यू ऐड हो रही है ना, तो इसको एक बंदे के साथ ज़रूर शेयर करना। इससे हमें पता चलता है कि हम अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं एंड लोगों को उसी काम का बेनिफिट मिलता है। सो थैंक यू।